Hey guys, welcome back. Just want to show you something here with my tractor that I just realized as I was sort of doing a once over in anticipation of doing a bit of maintenance, some oil changes and whatnot. I looked down here and what used to be here was a rubber floor mat. And if you guys own this tractor, this is a 2012 DK40 by Kioti. I'm sure many of the other models also have it and other manufacturers have it. But it had a rubber floor liner. Real good one at that. If you guys have a look at it, it goes all the way up the edges, so water, snow, whatever, it can't get underneath of it. The only spot it sort of leans downwards, if you guys have a look in the end, is right there. And so it leans downwards on both sides, so whatever water and whatever collects can be shoot out the door. Now underneath of it was this stuff right here, and this is like a foam padding, so when you stepped on it, it kind of felt nice on the feet. Well, I was looking around and I looked under that mat, and I've done it many times before, and sometimes I sprayed some of that undercoating material in there, and that worked quite well to keep rust at bay, or so I thought. Look inside here, guys. I had a bit more of a closer look, and if you look right here, it looks real good, right? But if you look over here, what's happening is we were having some bubbles that actually were forming between the steel floor and the paint. And if you guys look right here, see that bubble right there? That's rust under there. And so that's a concern. I didn't see it until I took this rubber mat right out. And let's get the air compressor. We'll just shoot that out here, shoot all that dust out, and you guys can get a real good look as to what we're dealing with, because it is something serious here. So have a look here. Let's just fire this out. Let's put my safety glasses back on. There we go. Okay, now have a look. What you guys can see is some serious rust, and this is something that if I didn't take care of before long, there would end up being a hole in the floor, and I wouldn't know it until I stepped on that rubber mat and it got soft. It's actually pretty significant right here, to the point where it's starting to create some what's the word here, almost like craters. Over here it's not bad at all, but over here it's definitely serious, and up here it's not too bad. It looks worse because of the paint. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get all this stuff out of here. So I'm going to probably bring in a wire brush of sorts, a scraper. I'm going to scrape all this out of here, and then we're going to put more primer down. We're going to put paint down and get to the bottom of this. So the way that I figure it's getting wet under there is not from snow melting off my boots, like probably many of you guys are suspecting, which would be the case in the winter time when I'm snow blowing. If you guys can imagine, inside the cab, it's probably like 20 degrees Celsius with the heat going. Step in there with a snowy boot and the snow melts onto this mat. I checked all the lips here. Everything is in perfect condition. There's no way that snow is melting off my boots going underneath this rubber mat in between the mat and the steel floor. There's no way. So the next best thing that I can guess is it's condensation. And so what I'm suspecting is, in that same time of year, the winter, because it's warm in the cab, especially when I'm snow blowing for like over an hour at a time, it's warm in the cab, but it could be like -30 on the underside of that steel floor outside. The difference between the warm and the cold creates that condensation. The condensation collects ultimately on the warm side, and the warm side happens to be underneath that rubber mat. When it collects there, it's got nowhere to go to because it can't get out through the rubber, and as a result we get a little bit of rust forming. So that's unfortunately a fault of mine, so I will live and learn from that. But first and foremost, we got to fix this, and so I'm gonna start getting out that rust, get that steel wheel. We'll take care of it. It'll be good as new. Well guys, have a look down there. That is my handiwork, and although it's a little bit dusty because I've been using the tractor without a floor mat, it is pretty solid. So now we've got some good primer, some good paint on there, Kioti paint specifically. The question next is, what do I do long term? Do I put the original mat back, which is this down here? So there's the padding, which is like the padding you'd put in a house underneath carpeting, what do you call it, underpad. And here's the rubber mat that goes over top of it. So do I put all that back and then hope for the best and just keep checking on it? Or do I leave that out except for the winter time when I'll have to put it in there, because snowy boots on a steel painted floor like that'll be not good. So do I put it back in the winter, leave it out for now, or do I just put it back right now and just roll with it and check it? I'm not sure. One thing though, as we're talking and as I think more about this, is why did this happen? Originally I thought maybe it was condensation, but now I'm starting to wonder, is it because of poor adhesion between the paint and the metal when it was originally painted? Maybe. Just seems kind of funny that the rest of the tractor, like all these other painted components, it seems to be holding up just fine, whereas in there, it's not. So I'm not really sure why, but I can tell you that paint there, sort of reminiscent of some of the paint on the loader, where it just didn't seem like it was sticking in every single place. I don't know what the issue is, but I do know that that's fixed for now. And so I just got to figure out whether to put that mat back now or to wait. Anyways, guys, if you have comments for me, questions, concerns, make sure you put it down below. I'd love to hear your input on what you would do if this was your tractor, because I want it to last as long as possible. This is a great tool around here, and well, it's an expensive tool and one I hope to keep around for quite some time. Glad you guys joined me. I got some other maintenance to do. I'm going to do that. Hopefully you guys join me next time, and I'll see you then.